Order at 6:10. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from April 10th, 2018.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the minutes from April 10th, 2018, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the special meeting on April 12th, 2018.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the minutes from the special meeting on April 12th, 2018, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Okay, any additions or deletions to tonight's agenda? I would just say that we will have an executive session to discuss attorney correspondence. Okay. Then hearing none, let's go ahead and take take the agenda out of order and move down to members of the public.
Actually, Sherwood's in her new business.
Well, what's he doing way down there?
Well, because it's the LEOP.
Well, he shouldn't be there. Okay, then we're going to really take the agenda out of order and go down to number 9 on new business to discuss the LEOP for 2018. Can I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Can I have a jargon buster? What's an LEOP?
Local, a little bit of emergency operation plan. Thank you. All those in favor of setting aside the agenda and moving down to new business, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. So we have a copy. Nobody's seen it but me. I've sat here and looked through it. The one thing I did ask, and perhaps somebody can answer for me, I was looking at the critical areas that have been identified on this, and is Ellen Fuller still have childcare out on Curly Drive?
Still listed with the state.
I don't believe so.
I don't think she even lives here anymore, does she?
No.
Okay, it's just one thing that we might wanna,
Yeah, well, I'll check with, that information actually came from Wyndham Regional through the state's registry. So she's still registered on there. That's why it's there.
Could be
But I'll
outdated.
double check with Wyndham Regional and
yeah, I don't
move it.
believe she's even living in town anymore, so. Other than that, I don't see too many, issues other than my email address is not right on here.
Again? Okay.
But
If you make a note on that copy, I will make sure it's changed.
okay, you're gonna make me remember my email addresses, and that's not gonna be easy. Okay, I'll make a note on this then. For anyone who doesn't know what this is about, this is essentially the plan in case of an emergency for us in the way of contacts, the areas that need to be looked at. I'll let Sherwood kind of fill you in because he's filled this thing out a couple years now. But it's pretty much a blueprint from last year, except for a certain few minor things.
Some of the names and dates and numbers change,
Yeah.
the offices sometimes change. I'm sure you're familiar with one. Grace Cottage must have one, or in the process of making.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm very familiar with
Yeah,
that.
I would assume you would. This one hasn't changed a lot in a number of years, but changes are coming, I understand.
Next year's plan, this thing's 10 pages and most of it is fill in the blanks type of thing. The only thing that's changed on this one is, Craig said, is just the names. The contact person at Grace Cottage, the contact person at the elementary school, the high school, all of those have changed. Next year plan is, I've seen the second draft of it, and it's over 20 pages. So that one's gonna be fun.
Requirements coming.
Yeah, requirements coming. So that one there I'll probably bring to you at least a month in advance so that you have time to see what it is and absorb it. But with this one, nothing different.
So would anybody like to take a look at it? Because I have a feeling you would like us to approve this tonight.
You bless it.
I'll bless it.
With changes.
It's pretty much the same as it was. So.
I would move to accept the LEOP plan as presented with the corrections that we've discussed.
Okay, there's any discussion on that? No?
I got a new one for you.
You got a new one?
Yeah, I got it
You don't want Craig's copy, huh?
here.
I have to do it twice.
Well, one is so I
I
can
did, okay.
file it, the other one's official for the town.
And then my pen's not gonna work.
And I put a line on this for you this year, so you didn't have to figure out where to sign
You know,
the
that
first
was,
thing.
that was difficult last year.
When they did all of this, when the state designed all of this, they forgot to put in the line for.
To sign.
To sign, yeah.
Sign anywhere.
So this year, I fixed that, whether you like it or not.
The changes for next year's are coming from the state, I assume.
Oh, yeah, they've got a panel put together, revise the whole thing, and there are some revisions, some very interesting revisions.
Huh.
The only other thing I wanted to just let you know what I've been up to over the last year, so if you had any questions. Biggest thing is we got the Knox box system off the ground and working. All the ones that were previously purchased are now up on buildings and have keys in them. There's one that's still in process, and that's just a matter of getting us a list of what the keys go to, and that one will be active. And we actually put one more up on the school office down the road here. So, and there's a potential for a couple more coming. The other thing is I've been in meetings every 4 to 6 weeks with the school and the response plan for emergencies, multi-layered response plan for emergencies. And that type of thing seems to be going pretty well. A lot of tabletop exercises and kind of integration with everybody, so everybody knows who's who if we have a problem. It'll also help us in developing an actual expanded plan for emergencies that occur in town, because at least we'll have everybody in one place. We know who we're talking to. The other thing, we've got training coming up that's here in May. Hopefully enough people signed up for it to get, it's an EMD course. So the state emergency management offers it for every EMD in the state. This is the first time it's been down this way in 2 or 3 years. And I plan on attending that because I set it up for here. And the last thing was, working with the hospital also on their emergency plan. So, been a busy couple of years.
Sounds like it.
Any further questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
You can get me a copy of that one.
This one is,
I'll put it in the book.
I just, can you give me that address? I don't know why it's messed up.
She didn't put it on the stick.
I didn't put it, it'll still get to me. That one will be all right. Just leave it for the time being. It'll still get there. All right. So now, going back to the top of the agenda, we're just gonna jump all over the place. Let's start with the highway report.
Yes. I got the grants completed that we talked about the last meeting. We got the nominal figures. I called some engineering companies. I had got in touch with 2 paving companies that came up here and we figured out the tonnage and stuff. It was only 10 ton off and they didn't even have the same number, so we were all within about 15 ton. We would have to come up with 10% of the paving, but 20% on the bridge grant. So that would be about $600 for the bridge plan if we had the engineers. I got a price of about $30,000. It would be a study and a plan for the bridge, because those abutments are pretty bad on that bridge.
Why the 20% match on that one?
On that one?
Yeah, because I,
Oh, I'm sorry. That's the other way around. It's 10% match on the bridge and 20% match on the paving.
Ah,
it's 20% match on the.
$30,000 for engineering.
I don't know if it's gonna be a,
So
because
10% would be $3,000. not
10%, yeah, 'cause
$3,000, no.
$3,000, not 600,
Yeah.
$3,000. But we don't know if the abutments are good on the bridge, which they're not really, so that would be a total bridge,
This is Bridge 43?
Bridge 43. A new bridge or a box culvert, I don't know, whatever comes through suggested by our hydraulic study. They'll give you both options, but you go with the cheapest option, of course. So that's where we are on those two. They're due tomorrow, we gotta bring them in tomorrow.
Well, you can't bring them in unless we see them and sign them.
I have moved them. They don't need to be signed.
They don't need to be signed.
Yeah, there's no spots to sign.
Sure. Could you put a spot on that to sign?
Thank you. Okay. For Grafton Road?
That's right.
What section of Grafton Road?
Simpson Brook to the intersection.
To the intersection here?
Yeah, to the intersection at the bottom of the Yellow Avenue.
You mean from Acton, Central?
That's right.
So Acton to
Where
the,
they left off.
To the solar panels?
And we'd have to kick in a little bit, plus our percentage, to do the approach on, that apron there. That being a class 3 road, we have to pick up that's only probably 10 ton. We have money for resurfacing anyway, so.
So $235,000 is the estimate,
Yeah.
and we pay what?
20%. That is 175, which is the max, 175. 's the max.
175.
Okay, so this is the bridge.
Yeah, I got pictures on my phone, I gotta print them out tomorrow morning, and put them on those.
How long's that paving portion been waiting?
When did I find out about it?
No, how long has it been how long has it been since it's been paved
Oh,
last?
since it was paid last, my first year here, 2005.
Oh, so it's been a while.
From the top of Mackin Hill down?
We did a little section of it last year.
You did something, because I know my husband with his motorcycle was commenting about the fact he can actually ride up there
That
now.
was 2 years ago. Dave Thurber did a small section there. It was really bad.
Thank you.
if we end up doing that, is there any way to make those, where the culvert goes underneath a little smoother? Where your culvert goes underneath the road, each one of those, if you have like any sort of truck, it about rock a ship's
Yes.
depth. I mean, everything's off of the seat and onto the floor.
Yeah, I know, I got a truck.
Tailgate wants to fall off. and-
Yeah, the shit will take care of that. You put those in, compacted and stuff, but there's nothing but mush underneath that, by that beaver pond along there. But they'll be shimmed and then top dress.
I've never seen one of these.
I know, like with my truck, if you're empty, it just like,
Yeah.
you gotta just literally slow down or else it just ruins
Lots of
it.
traffic.
Hang on for deal with.
Yes, it is
Speed
traffic.
bump.
It is very common.
So while
Look back to see the spare parts.
they take a look at those, did you have anything else to report? While they look over those 2 grant applications?
Anything else to report to you tonight?
Tonight, do you have
Oh,
anything
yeah,
else to report?
We sweeping, we have to sweep this year, since we've used so much sand in the common and on the hills and,
Actually, I was impressed with the comment, in fact, there's not one of the sand there.
but we gotta sweep it though. Gotta sweep the sand. We used to sweep every year, last year was the first year we never swept. With motorcycles, I've already been commented on by a guy with a motorcycle that there's too much sand on the road. And there's a guy that rides from Grafton down to the T every day on a bicycle. Do you know where he is? He's got a studio in Grafton. But he was hoping we sand the roads because he rides every day. And it is safer for bicycles and motorcycles.
Yeah, but we don't blow the sand off of like Grafton Road, do we?
Yeah, we sweep Grafton Road. We sweep that up.
Really?
Ever since I've been here, last year was the first year we didn't. And we do a complete street things, and that's one of their things, you know, they like to have.
But they like to have, it's
Right.
not mandatory.
Yeah, not
It's not, I think it should be done.
I feel like a couple good rainstorms usually takes care of it.
The only spot I've seen that's bad is where East Hill exits on the 35, especially if you're turning left to go into town. There's a lot of sand there, and you're always spinning when you take off. You can't clean that up with backpack blowers. You guys have backpack blowers? It's not a joke. Do you have backpack blowers? I mean, the intersection could be blown off.
Fire hose.
There you go.
Fire hose.
You just got a new fire hose, right? You see if it leaks?
Thought we tried last night.
Oh, okay. Why didn't you go clean the common?
And another thing I have is, the fire pond down by the end of the school entrance, you know, on Pekin Mountain Road, the fire pond down there. The fire department does go on that lady's yard and stuff. She's nice to let the town use it for the dry hydrant. And they'd like to know if they would buy the stone, if I could spread it in the town backhoe. And make it nicer and dig out the stuff and put some stone in there and whatnot.
Where you drive?
Where the fire pond is at. Yeah.
They just want a little gravel cut out.
Not gravel, they,
Not gravel.
yeah. Glenn said they buy the stone.
Are you talking about so that you can drop back your truck in on the stone, or are you talking about putting the stone in the pond?
No, it's where you put the truck.
So where you're backing it?
Yeah, they're pulling in, yeah. Because there is stone there, but it's so narrow you actually drive on a log because you come down at an angle.
So you're basically making mud ruts if you back in there when it's wet under.
Which we did last night, yeah.
Okay, well, does anybody have?
So they would purchase the stone and you would just kind
Yeah.
of put it around?
Use the town machine to spread it out. Dig out
Seems very
and
reasonable.
With a little box cut, since it's all over people.
So does anybody have any issue with that, using the town equipment to line the driveway for the fire department to the fire?
Are they gonna
department?
truck it themselves or have a truck, or are you
I
guys
don't
trucking
know
it?
yet. I don't know yet.
Seems reasonable to me.
Yeah, I have no issue with it.
I would do the work on my own. I would do the work. I would do it on my own on the off time, go down there and do it for the town. I just want to make sure the town's okay with me using it back up.
I'd be fine with that.
Now that I'm part of the fire department, I feel I should help.
Okay, so does anybody issue? No. No, so consensus seems to be yes, go ahead with that.
I'll tell Chief Beatty. Park stops on the common, talked to Craig about that. We just removed the bad ones today.
Did you actually be able to get them up, or did they just crumble?
Well, you pick them up, then you pick up what fell in.
Give you a couple pieces.
You didn't have to, my point was, you didn't have to sweep them up?
So we used a rake on the little pieces. But yeah, we'll get the new ones like we ordered and we'll send them down there. And you said tomorrow or Thursday?
He'll be here tomorrow or Thursday. He'll call it before he comes. And
If it's raining tomorrow, we're not, just let them send them right there. We'll put them out when it's not raining.
Yeah,
We're supposed to
yeah.
get an inch of rain tomorrow.
It
How
depends
much
on-
did they cost?
Huh?
How much was the?
$42 a piece, something
They
like that.
came
They're
in
fine.
about, what was it, 60?
Yeah, the coated concrete is up there.
It's a plastic coated, it has 2 holes in it, maybe 3 holes on the camera with this plastic cap. You drive a piece of rewrite down, he's bringing the anchor pins as well, and our 18-inch or 24-inch anchor pins. So we'll be able to put them in. I ordered 16 of them, it'll cover at least that lot, maybe a little bit out on the corner. They're gray in color, they look like cement. We had all kinds of choices, blue and rainbow colors and all that, but anyway, the decision was sort of to get the gray, so we got the gray coming. And Washburn rubber, and that's the low price, $44 a piece.
That's good.
Okay, so, yeah, these are very much
Cold patcher.
That's under this. We need more coal patch. I gotta go buy some coal patch. We did what we had. The rest of this stuff is just so dry. It's been in there for years. the back of the bunker I made in the shed. Yeah, I gotta get more coal patch, that's on my list too.
What do you do, buy a yard or something?
No, by dump truck. It's good for a couple, 3 years.
You need to make sure you get the library taken care of, because that's really getting bad over there.
So what about the sweeping? Do you don't wanna, you wanna?
Well, I don't know now that everybody's.
Because we have the library swept, every time I work for, plus this town's always swept till last year, all of a sudden we don't sweep.
My problem with BDM is the fact that they blow through town, they're here about 30 minutes. You don't dare park your car out front, they whiz by so bloody fast. They're not literally in town long enough to say they were in Townsend.
No, I've been with them ever since I started here. They're here all day. They do the common in the center of town at 5:30 in the morning, but they come in early. You wanna look at my old timesheets, I come in early, you get this, say dump in
I
my
didn't know
truck.
they've swept, and because they always go around the car.
We don't sweep Route 30 though.
Well, there must be something.
There-
It might be the state.
The common is done at about 5:30 in the morning. And I usually get 1.5 loads out of the common in the center of town.
And they go out to, they do the, windmill.
We do all the roads in town. Yeah, I can look at my own timesheets, we still have them here. Oh no, they're here all day long.
What's the cost? I can't remember.
I know.
Chunk change.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
But, I don't know. I always thought the road makes it work better. Hey, Tim.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
Come on in, have a seat.
Are you Kirk?
No, I will.
That's coming.
What are you looking for? Anyway, while Craig looks that up, on the sweeping day, so we can get a price, what's the pleasure on the 2 grant applications? The paving for $235,000 and the $30,000 grant for the bridge replacement for,
Well, as far as the paving grant goes, what did you use for a price per ton? Would you base that quote on?
70 is one,
71?
yeah,
What did we pay last year with Basin?
about 70, 71, I can't remember exactly, right around there.
So
I think it was 70, like 70 and change or something.
when we put it out to bid,
Well, that's the price they gave me this year, the 2 places.
oh, they already gave you a price? Well, we still gotta put it out to bid.
And yeah, we got to put out, for- those are prices they gave me as of right now, so.
Current price right now.
Oh, just to kind of work from.
Right.
Okay.
I talked to Lane, and I talked to, Vermont Road Works, out of Brattleboro, just to get a couple different perspectives on it.
Okay.
They came up here, actually met me, and they measured it, but I have it on the town map, so it's 8.13 miles.
8.13.
1.83 miles. 8 point, that's a lot.
Yeah, I was gonna say they could do my driveway too.
Yeah.
The bridge grant,
Yes.
you said you used 2 engineering firms for a
Yes.
quote. Who are those 2 engineering firms?
Stevens and Associates, and, so we're Samantha Russell. Dreyfus and somebody else. Dreyfus and Henry, I think, Dreyfus.
Can we have money in the
I
budget?
called Russ Anderson and I called,
The 10 and the 20%?
we've got money.
I called 2 local engineers.
But we did plan on the, and this has to happen.
But I figured they give me the most honest answer for something.
All right, so back to the question at hand, on the 2 bridges, on the 2 grants, one for the bridge and one for the paving. What's the pleasure?
How much was the payment?
$235,000 is the total cost of the project. We'd be responsible for
20%.
Was it
20% of
20%?
that, yeah.
40-ish.
Yeah.
3. We have 80,000.
We put 80
Yeah, I
in
was
the
just gonna
budget.
ask what we have in the budget.
80,000.
Kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah. Then I would move forward on the paving.
Submitting the grant,
Yes.
Yeah.
okay? Any further discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. What about the bridge?
The bridge we have to do. And so I would move, we also move forward on the bridge.
Because that'll be like a 4-year project, like the other bridge. And I
Yeah.
told the top of the state of Vermont when we had our bridge audit that we would start working on that.
4 or 14?
Huh?
4 or 14
I mean, 450.
years for the bridge?
4.
We're working on 14 now on the first one. All right, any further discussion on that?
So,
Hearing none, all those in favor of submitting the grant to begin the engineering work on Bridge 43, is it?
Yes.
yes.
43.
Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? There's your grants.
Quick question about the street sweeping.
Yes.
The prices that we paid for the street sweeping jump all over the place from $1,365 to $2,925.
We reduced
If
it
they-
1 year to just those
Yeah, but I mean, we
intersections
go
that
from-
needed it done.
There isn't 2 years that are the same.
Yeah.
So I mean, if we do every single road, every single year, then we would have pretty close to the same numbers as far as hourly and.
We reduced it
price.
1 year, I know, but the other ones should be close.
Like I said, it goes from 1375 to 29, I mean, there's 2275, 1365, 2080, 26, 2925, 24, 21, 2060, 250, and 1870. And these are from 2007 to 2016. So we don't even have 1 year that they're even close to the same.
They charge by the hour, by the mile, by the ton?
Sorry by the hour.
Well, then I told you, they go through town really fast sometimes.
No, somebody.
Gotta put the button on rabbit.
And with them, I know, you've been with them once, haven't you? Joe's been, they're here all day, they're sweeping all day. Like you can get 2 or 3 loads off the state forest sometimes, of sand. In your dump truck,
Off the dirt
off the black.
or? We just gotta clarify.
It's running around $2,000,
Yeah.
somewhere above $2,000, except for the year of the 6, 7, 14 is maybe the year that we didn't do as much, but the rest of them are 2,200, 2,100, 2,600. Those are
Yeah,
all
they're kinda-
similar
They go
quotes.
by-
Mid to low two.
They go by the hour. And they're here all day.
What's the risk if we don't do it?
Get dirty
We're not
roads.
required to do it, but
I'm required to do it.
it's hard on motorcycles to make the corners.
Looks like the bicycle, it just keeps building up and up. The maker doesn't use salt. We used to take the loader and scrape the sand off before the sweeper came because it was just terrible. And we use sand once in a while on our roads too.
So what's your pleasure on the street sweeping?
Can we put it out to bid? See what we get for quotes?
You could.
I mean, just to see.
Who else does it besides?
Clark got a machine.
Clark has
The
a little-
median, but Clark can
has
pick up.
a little tiny machine, he doesn't load in the trucks. I like to use it, but it's a small machine, it's like a parking lot machine. I don't know who else does it, because I never had to look into it.
There are not many around. I mean, there's a cost of moving a street sweeper halfway.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, is if we get into somebody far away, we're gonna have to pay travel time.
I mean, other companies have it, like I'm sure Basin's got one, I'm sure Springfield Paving, but they don't do it for municipalities. They do it
Springfield
for
paving, they have a Bobcat on it,
the-
and Basin the same.
We should get a rotary broom for them.
So you're gonna ask, what's your
You
pleasure?
gotta pick it up though, you gotta do is, shoot down everybody's lawn.
Sure. Make sandboxes.
Sweep it right back to the town garage and put it in the barn.
You can have what's in my yard, vacuum it up.
Yeah.
Do we wanna put it out to bid? Do we wanna just,
I can call different guys and get different prices, all I do is gonna give them our mileage and they give me a nominal figure, cause nobody knows exactly how long it's gonna take, I can do that, I'll have to try and find other places, I'll try and find other places.
Yeah, if you could find a couple, just to give us an idea of what we're looking at before we decide, I think that would be prudent.
okay, is everyone?
Yes.
Okay, if you could get back to us and let us know what,
What do you wanna get back, what do you get back to?
well, you get back to Craig, but
Get back to me and I'll let
we won't
everybody
get,
know.
be together until the 5th of May,
Yeah, I know.
6th of May.
Like, we used to like that done before Memorial Day parade and stuff.
8th of May.
They can't do it in a month, is that what you're saying?
There's probably other people ahead of us.
So do you wanna wait till the next meeting, or what do you want?
Yep, that's fine with me.
Okay,
Okay.
yes, I guess we're gonna wait, so if you could get back to Craig with the quotes, that'd be fine. And you asked us something else, the grant, the street sweeping,
Parking.
yeah, the parking's already dealt with. Wasn't there something else you just asked us?
Parking. Pole patch.
Yeah, Coal patch.
Breathing. Fire pond. And I gotta buy some signs, that's it.
roadside.
Why? The road signs.
2. And I gotta buy a couple posts. Nothing tangible. $5.
Okay, anything else from anyone? Any questions?
Yes, I do. We just received our budget status report through period 10, and I have a query on expenses that were charged to truck 9, and there's quite a few of them, so I have some questions. Through 10 periods, we've spent $14,666 on truck 9. A little over $3,000 of that is from Pete's Tire Barn. So, steer tires, traction tires, do you recall through the 1st of July how many traction tires you've had to buy for that truck?
I don't, not since the first of all.
Okay, so we're at $3,100 year-to-date on tires. We're $1,300 year-to-date on tire chains. Now, let's put that aside for 1 minute. What would you buy from wholesale distributors? Is that a sander item?
Cutting edges, cover plates, carbides, shoes, nose pieces, push poles.
So is it possible that some of those went to other trucks and was charged to
Yes.
So that could be an error. There's also a lot of charges from the lorry sales. Now, there's only specific items you get from them,
Yes.
and that is suspension parts.
We get suspension parts, some filters, electronic parts. We got a air fan, air drive for the fan. I got that at Delirious. I needed that for a storm. I went down there to pick up the hose for my truck when my hose broke up by your house. And that afternoon, his fan quit working, so I went to Delirious to pick up a hose on Saturday with my own pickup, and I picked up a fan drive. And we had it fixed for the next storm. And that was quite expensive.
For the fan?
Yeah, the fan drive, the air drive on the fan.
Do you recall July through current, how many suspension parts you had to do on T9 as far as leaf springs, hangers?
It's written down in the book, I don't right now.
Okay, so
Probably, I think we did the springs on it once, and then he broke, when his chain broke. His tire went flat, the chain broke, and it screwed up one of the, well, you guys were at the meeting that night, I showed you the spring on the truck.
this is Ed's truck?
No, this is Bob's truck.
Bob's truck? Okay, so if you could make a note, please, when you come to the next meeting,
Yeah.
specifically the T9. I want to know how many tires, drive tires, we've purchased and put on that truck since July 1st. How many steer tires, and leaf springs, or I should just say suspension parts.
Okay.
Kurt, why would those leaf springs break like that? I mean, other than the flat tire chain one, that sounds like it might have busted.
Yeah, there's something happened. Why?
Yeah, I guess I'm just asking.
I don't know.
Rock run.
Some trucks, Ed's got his truck apart right now, his center bolt went in that truck. I think last time I got stuck, that's when that happened.
Well, I'm building a case to show what happens when we put too much sand in the back of a truck and overweight it. Then we drive it on asphalt with tire chains and shake the hell out of it. We'll use historical data, if nothing else, to show what the true costs are to the equipment when we put it through those conditions.
Oh, I agree, they get hammered.
And so, and then this is building up for how we're gonna move into next winter, whether we change some policies for you and your guys on when you can and can't use tire chains, how much material, just hear me out. We'll put the numbers on the table and we'll have the conversation. If the taxpayers in this town want to spend money to buy tires and tire chains constantly, then so be it. But at least we can give them the numbers and show them what the true costs are. That's all.
Is there anything else? Any other questions for Kurt?
Oh,
Did you want us to have something to do with the highway?
Yeah, Bridge 43.
Okay.
Or
could-
Bridge
could you-
42.
I'm sorry, your name is Tim
Tim Crosby.
Tim Crosby, okay. Yeah.
I live up on West Hill, and basically it's 30 minutes versus 10 minutes for me, and I'm always working and stuff, and up and down, the kids play sports. I wrote you guys a letter, I don't know if you guys.
Yeah, it was going to
on
be
the
ready
agenda.
tonight.
it's on the agenda.
And, I didn't know if we can push this off until like after school. So,
When is that, I don't know, if you got an extension on that grant, I don't know when that grant is up.
We're tied, our hands are tied in the grant, and our hands are actually tied by the state of Vermont. Because quite frankly, we had a bridge inspection, that bridge has not passed safety inspections for quite a while now. And we had to provide to the state proof that we were in contract to replace that bridge, and we were going to replace that bridge this spring. So we don't have a whole lot of leeway with the time.
I'm just asking until after school. The kids are in sports, and it's just wear and tear on my vehicles.
I completely understand that, but I would just as soon have your kids have to be late to a game as opposed to you and your kids going into the drink.
Well, it's easily 5 times up and down the hill every day. So being 30 minutes all the way around makes it a huge inconvenience for me.
I'm just saying, I don't.
The problem is the state may come in and just close it.
And then you're done, then you're gonna be the problem.
Well, the state, I mean, it's either they will or they won't. I mean, there's gotta be some sort of leeway. I mean, it hasn't broken yet. I've been up there since 2008, so I've hit that road 10 years. And I've seen the bridges, I've seen all the log trucks hit that bridge all the time. You know what, it's not gonna break. I don't see a problem with it. I mean, pushing it off a couple more months versus pushing it off a few more years, it's not gonna break. I mean, you should see the log trucks going over it.
Well, see,
I mean,
unfortunately, the state
I'm
disagrees.
totally empathetic, I totally sympathize. I don't think there's a
So
lot,
is there something
I'm not
from
allowed
the
to say
state
that we have.
that says, fix it this day or we're closing the whole road down?
No, there's nothing that tangible, they just asked for proof via contract that the bridge was going to be replaced this spring. And they did receive that assurance from us.
Okay.
And in fairness, the select board went through the bid process with Clerk and put it out to bid last summer. There was hope that it would be done last fall, while school was open, but there was hope that it would be done last fall, and then again this winter, and then again this spring, now twice this spring. But the select board's involvement in it basically was to pick a contractor that was reputable, that could get it done. The contractor's ordered a bridge, it's been sitting since January, ready to be installed. The select board's order was just to get it done as soon as is practically possible. Has nothing to do with people that chose to live on a dirt road 2 miles from pavement. It has to do with safety for the public. And it has to do with getting bridges repaired through a highway foreman and through a contractor. But that's the board's involvement. They're not micromanaging, telling him when and not when to put down dirt and fix roads. That's his job, is to determine when to fix roads. But the board basically wanted it done as soon as is practically possible. It is a matter of public safety, and that's their responsibility, ultimately. And then it's up to the contractor, it's up to the highway foreman to decide when it can be done, as soon as is feasibly possible to do. It inconveniences anybody who lives in Vermont and chooses to live off the pavement with one-way access, one way in or one way out, or 2 ways in and 2 ways out. But that's a lifestyle choice. You bought property that's...
Yeah, I bought property 10 minutes from the pavement, not a half an hour.
Right, I understand that. I'm just saying.
And another thing, it is public safety. My wife's a diabetic. If we have a fire or whatever, they gotta actually go through all the mud in Wardsboro and everything. We're in mud season, and there's a lot of snow up at my house. So, you know, you can go up there and you can see what Wardsboro did today on the road and see how much mud's on it. It's,
Speaking of which, did you ever speak to the highway departments in Newfane and Westboro about the roads, the condition of the roads? Well, knowing that the bridge was going to be going in the road, then they were going to have more.
Oh, yes, I did.
You spoke to both departments?
And so did
Archer.
Archie. That's why he put it off another week, because the roads were so bad in Morrisboro.
Well, all I can say is that we have contacted the fire department, we have contacted the emergency services. They're well aware the bridge is going to be closed. This should take hopefully no more than 3 weeks maximum, is what we've been told. So it should be hopefully short, sweet, and done until the next bridge.
hopefully.
Well, the next bridge, unfortunately, that bridge you just heard us talk about engineering is the next one up.
Yeah, crawl underneath 42, then crawl underneath 43 and tell me which one makes more sense. It makes absolutely no sense to do 42 versus 43. It's way worse on 43.
They're both in feather, right here.
Where you-
43 has holes in the deck, so that's why there's bridge plate on the
Yeah,
deck.
43's got bridge plate on it. So, you know, like I said, we have notified all the appropriate agencies that, for emergency services, so they will be able to respond if there is some kind of an emergency out on that side.
I thought that the whole time that we've been told this should be about 2 weeks. So now we're on to 3.
No, it said 2 to 3 weeks maximum, is what he sat here and told us
Thank you.
when we opened.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else? All right, thank you very much.
Good night.
Thanks, Dick.
Good night.
All right, then moving on to the town clerk, you all should have gotten a copy of the counter monies. Are there any questions or comments on that?
Nope.
Then moving on to the treasurer.
Sweep account, $788,902.94. Checking account, $30,000 even.
Okay, any questions for the treasurer? We don't do those. No, hearing none, then we'll move on to correspondence. I will read the letter that we,
Warrants yet? No, you're gonna wait for those.
no, I was just gonna do it while
Yeah,
we
yeah,
to
that's
the
fine.
left, to do
That's
the
fine,
correspondence on the road, and then we'll go back and pick up the warrant. All right, then, this is from Tim Crosby, who is just here. It says, "Dear Selectboard, we are long-term residents of our town, and we are writing to express our concern about the proposed upcoming bridge replacement on West Hill Road. We understand that the bridge is broken and in need of replacement. However, we do not believe that the timing of the bridge replacement proposed to start 4/23/18 is a good fit for the residents of West Hill and beyond. Although it is the end of the winter season, the weather is still unpredictable, creating very rough travel if we are forced to go to town through Newfane. The dirt roads are terrible during this time of year. We have 2 unlicensed Leland grade students that play 2 different sports that require multiple trips to school daily. This is a major inconvenience. It will take 3 times longer to get to town. If there's an emergency such as a fire, the neighbor quarter of the mile down the road was burning brush yesterday, or need the ambulance, the amount of time it would take for emergency vehicles to travel to give aid could be potentially deadly. It would make more sense replacing the bridge during the summer and would be beneficial to all those involved. The dirt roads will be dry and more passable. With school out, there would not be the need for numerous trips back and forth. Please take our thoughts into consideration. The timing of this project is a great inconvenience. Sincerely, Tim and Marie Crosby. All right, and then we received another letter about the road, about the bridge. Dear Select Board, last Friday, April 13th, signs went up on West Hill Bridge that the West Hill Bridge would be closed as of the 23rd. Today, I needed to go to East Dover, so I took West Hill through Newfane and Dover. The Wardsboro did not plow the roads, and Dover didn't plow much. The bridge to be repaired has been in poor condition for a long time, years. The previous February bridge repair seemed a lack of good judgment. It was changed to this April 23rd date. one should question whether or not this date is relying on luck and not weather history. Some of you may live on paved roads. Relying on good, passable dirt gravel roads may be unfamiliar to you. This time of year, affectionately called mud season here in Vermont, means a few things. For example, driving to Eastover today would have been impossible if I didn't have a high ground clearance 4x4 truck. In fact, last week, before the town graded my road, a small sedan was towed off the road in the afternoon. Apparently it didn't have enough ground clearance and became stuck in the deep mud ruts. I can remember major snowstorms in April here in Vermont. Planning to do this work in a couple of days is not smart and may go much longer than the 2 weeks the work is supposed to take. As a town resident that relies on good dirt roads, it's obvious. It's clear that the inmates are running the asylum. This bridge has been in disrepair for a long time. Waiting a few weeks until the roads have not just given up the frost but dried out would be smart. What's the rush now? By the way, as select board members, would you be okay with having your principal road taken out of service with 5 days' notice for 2 weeks? Going north from me will add 30 minutes and south 15 minutes. Going through Wardsboro and over Eastover today was very slow going. Someone I met along the way had just had intimate contact with deep snow mud, which partially ripped the panel off the bottom of her small SUV. Please explain in some detail why this work needs to be done on the 23rd. It makes no sense. Thanks in advance, Bobby Sherwood. Any comments?
Well, if the notice went out on the 13th about the 23rd, that's not 5 days. Right there.
They put up, Kurt and Clark's, AS Clark put up signs suggesting that the road would, there would probably be a detour because work was going to commence the week of the 23rd.
Yep.
And I sent out letters on the 16th. You guys met with Kurt on the 12th. I was told to send out, so I sent out letters to everybody who lives on the other side of the bridge on the 16th. They would have gotten that on the 17th, saying that the 23rd, looked like the week of the 23rd, weather permitting, was going to be the start date. I then talked to Archie Clerk on the 26th or the 27th, can't remember. Anyway, it got postponed for another week, so it's not gonna be until May now. The week of the 30th to begin. And I talked to Rob about some other issues as well, and Archie about that as well. But it's not gonna be until the 30th. Yeah, there was more than a week. And the letters that went out in February, in the end of February, indicated that, this was speculatively gonna happen around town meeting time, and then everybody was told, no, it isn't, because the roads are too bad. We have had this thaw, and we now have this.
The idea then being that maybe we can get it done while it's frozen.
But it's probably gonna be in April that we do it, and I mean, everybody knew this was coming. In April, we're now May, so.
Right.
Anyway.
Well, and the one thing that a lot of these people aren't taking into account is there are a fair number of second homes back on that section of road. And quite frankly, if we were to wait in the summer, we're going to have more people that are inconvenienced and stuck out there than we do right now. So, I mean, anytime you look at it.
There's no good time to do it.
It's gonna be bad for everybody.
Right.
It just doesn't matter whether you're going to work or going to school. It's just going to be bad, but it is a safety issue.
And to their credit, Archie and Kurt are clearly taking into account the current weather conditions. Otherwise, it would have started yesterday, but they didn't. So they pushed it off to account for the weather.
Mainly the mud.
Right.
All right. So then going back and picking up the warrants wherever they ended up, I guess Rob's got them.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 1, payroll, in the amount of $12,202.95.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying payroll warrant number 1 in the amount of $12,202.95 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Abstentions? Did you vote?
No. Can you do a do-over? I'll vote this time.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay, motion
Is that
passes.
two, Rob? Two votes?
Yes. Make a motion to pay check warrant number 2, payroll taxes in the amount of $4,719.39.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying payroll tax warrant number 2 in the amount of $4,719.39 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 3 out of the general fund, the amount of $758.41.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying general fund warrant number 3 in the amount of $758.41 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 4 out of the general fund, the amount of $5,221.66.
Is there a second?
My number's different.
$5,721.66.
Yep, got it.
Okay,
Second.
any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying general fund warrant number 4 in the amount of $5,721.66 signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 5 out of the highway fund in the amount of $228.87.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying highway warrant number 5 in the amount of $228.87 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 6 out of the equipment fund in the amount of $320.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I should have talked to Kurt about a couple of these when he was here. Again, this warrant's for T9. Again, brake parts.
Brakes.
So,
Will that be answered when you get your,
well, I'm sure he had to do the job, and he did
Right.
the job, and it had to be done, but we need to get back to the truck washing and maintenance as to why the brakes are continuing to go on T9.
right, but do we need to hold this warrant?
No, no.
Okay. So is there any further discussion on that?
That was also plow blade parts, right? Or was it
On
grader?
Douglas?
Grader parts, okay. So I'm sure it was the right.
So all those in favor of paying equipment warrant number 6 in the amount of $320 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes with signatures.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 7 out of the equipment fund in the amount of $1,668.19.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Yes, I thought this was work that they did in the shop, and they sent it to the dealer.
Which one is this?
That's the ball joints.
Yeah.
I'll put that on a separate, just because we actually had to open a new account, that's a new name.
Were they short staffed? Were they
No, Kurt took that in last Friday, I
able
believe.
to do the work? and-
To have the work done.
And it could be because it's ball joints,
I mean, that still could be done in the shop,
you'd think.
Right axle.
which you wouldn't find that out until you took it apart.
Right.
Don't know. If it's a new account, so the question
Well, it's
becomes.
just under new ownership, I think we had an account, but we obviously had to change that out.
I'm just saying that
I mean,
the work has been done. Do we want to
Right, I
deal
think
with that
we-
on the backside as opposed to hold it up to the dealership?
Correct. It was an item that I was gonna bring up with him.
Okay. So is there any further discussion on that? Then hearing none, all those in favor of paying equipment warrant number 7 in the amount of $1,668.19 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 8 out of the equipment fund in the amount of $1,850.
Second.
Any discussion?
Is that the tire chains?
Yep.
The horse is dead.
Are you sure?
We got something to start with next year.
Yep.
We got salt, we got
Well,
tire chains.
the discussion was gonna be, the meeting at the garage, we looked at different styles of chains, and we identified the one that was eating the tires. This invoice contains one brand new set of the ones that eat up the tires.
Right, and one of the other ones.
So they should be sent back,
Trade it in for the kind that you want.
correct.
Yes.
Easy swap out.
So what's your pleasure with this particular warrant then?
I'll just, if I can just interject, if you fail the warrant, tell me what you want me to do, even if it's just to talk to Kurt about it, because this one did fail the last time, and I didn't have
Right,
any
yeah.
real clues to where to go with it, so I just let it ride, retyped it yesterday.
Yeah.
Which is no big deal, but I mean, I can call Chappelle or B&B or wherever they came from. I can also talk to Kurt about it, if that's the will of the board, but I don't want, when we fail something, there should be an action the next day.
Okay,
Just,
I'll
yeah.
make the suggestion
Yeah.
that the board identify the part number of this
Yep.
Razorback chain,
Yep.
and B&B chain is no longer allowed to sell that to us,
Okay.
okay? The message to Kurt would be, if that's still sitting in the white fancy bag they come in, they're going back.
Okay.
Yep.
And
Those are the ones in the white bags, as opposed to the dark blue? Or are you just saying that? Okay, all right, no, we'll find out which one it is, sure. I can do that.
Okay, are we paying this one? That's my question.
yeah, we'll pay it and then take the credit on the
Take the
Razorback.
credit
Yeah.
if it goes back?
Yeah.
All right. So then, all those in favor of paying equipment warrant number 8 in the amount of $1,850, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 9 out of the equipment fund, the amount of $2,074.15.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
This is Sander Parks again on T9, is that right?
Yes, yes.
We didn't have two.
I think we're in the same place that we are with the other ones. We got the parts, the work is done, and we have to figure out a way to stop needing the parts.
Well, the sander part said, I don't think we've seen repetitive bills on the sanders.
No,
So that's not uncommon. That is a fairly old truck.
true.
But the bearings, the question would be, how often are you greasing your sanders with any
Exactly.
maintenance? You're not washing the trucks. I mean,
So, again, I asked the question, are we going to fail it or what are we going to do with it?
No, I think we pay it, and
I think we pay it, and,
And deal?
I mean, I think until we establish some changes in how we purchase, the Kurt's gotta stay here for the warrants.
I would say that we do the agenda differently going forward, so that Kurt is here for the warrants.
Well, that's easy enough to do.
Yeah.
We'll just start by doing the warrants first.
Yep.
Anyway, so then all those in favor of paying equipment warrant number 9 in the amount of $2,074.15, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 10 out of the general fund, the amount of $966.53.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying general fund warrant number 10 in the amount of $966.53, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 12.
11.
No, there's 11 somewhere.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 11 out of the highway fund, the amount of $3,113.83.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Which one was this?
Sand and salt?
They're back upside down,
Okay.
tucked away.
I don't think I saw this one.
This is sand
We
and
just
salt.
slipped that one in there.
Is there any discussion?
Nope.
No?
Can I ask, what's the sand and salt for? Is this the,
For roads.
For the,
Rose,
Or safety.
the end of, hopefully the end of the season for that.
There's still, what, 25?
Yeah, he's still under budget.
Is that the number?
Or-
25?
Yeah, 25 remaining on the sand, I didn't, or on the salt, rather, I don't think you have a sand bill.
no, there isn't a sand
Yeah.
total.
Just salt.
The salt.
Yep.
But it was a fairly, it was fairly
25, what do you mean, 25
Salt.
yards left?
Yeah.
25
put
tons.
24 tons.
Well, we
Yes.
better get it then.
There's no place to put it, the shed's full.
We'll just put it in the yard,
There's no
so
money in
you
the
have
budget.
it. Put it in bay 4 of the garage.
Is there any other discussion on this?
We don't wanna lose the quota for next year.
Then all those in favor of paying highway warrant number 11 in the amount of $3,113.83, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 12. I had the equipment fund in the amount of $1,999.20.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying equipment warrant number 12 in the amount of $1,999.20, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Okay, we did it.
All right, get rid of some of this paper sitting here. And that can go over here. All right, then moving on down to town hall communication under new business. We did in fact put a work order in with First Light to see about beginning the process of upgrading the communications in the phone system. The petition has been out, it's in the town clerk's office, to allow people to comment, if they choose, on the 5-year contract. I believe we have until the beginning of
Beginning first week of May,
May.
yeah.
You know, until we can finalize that and actually sign the contract itself.
That's just because of the length of the contract relative to the terms of the board members,
Exactly.
correct? Okay.
So, you know, we'll follow that one. At the next meeting, we should know whether or not we're clear on that 5-year contract. Tax sale update, there's been no news that I'm aware of. I believe Craig, you went out and walked around.
I did, and
The
there's a
property.
little discussion on that coming up under attorney-client correspondence in an executive session a little later on. Just, isn't there a little tag on that one or not? Okay.
Oh, there's correspondence with the attorney.
There's a correspondence with the attorney, and I thought I touched it on camera. Anyway, yeah, I did, I just went out to walk around as the snow has, and ice has melted off. Nobody's been in there, I would say, all winter. I didn't try the doors, I looked in the windows, I think I reported the fish are probably dead. The aquarium appears to be cracked inside. The place is absolutely packed full of stuff, but the yard is even more packed full of stuff. This is gonna
Anything
be
good?
nothing good, nothing I could say, there was a time in my life 20 years ago, I did house cleanouts, you know, I wouldn't touch this place. This is get a bulldozer and a dumpster and fill it up and all the way kind of thing. It's pretty good. Yeah, just couldn't see in the windows. The windows were all fogged up. There was moisture, a lot of moisture in the house. I just went out to see how bad it was and to see if there was any sign of activity. There's been no sign of activity, but mostly there's no tack notice on the door requiring occupants to leave or anything else. So that's what I was looking for, to see if there was any paper from either the sheriff or orders from the court that we didn't know about, and I don't see any. So.
Okay, so then moving on to officer appointments.
But it is 2 years on that next,
Friday,
almost next week.
it's Friday.
Yeah.
I believe Sue LaCour
I did talk to her.
she has said that she would be willing to continue. I don't have
For
it.
1 more year at Valley Cares. You should have a, you got mine. Here you go.
That's fine, I know I've got one, it's
Yeah,
just
okay.
lost in the shuffle.
She's the only one that I did talk to, I'm sorry to say, on that, so.
So-
If anybody else knows anybody else, I will talk to Carol Moss, but she was out there, did call up there. So
She
see
did.
how she's feeling, and she'll do, I'm pretty sure she's gonna stay on as 911 coordinator and, under the Howard legacy, the monitor of that, but I have not talked to her on that, so.
Did you
I
talk to
will.
Dr. Schaefer yet?
I have not, and I'm still waiting. Anita believes as well that the 5-year notice for the health officer comes in from the Department of Health in April or May. It doesn't come at town meeting. But his term, I do believe, expires, so I've got it marked down. It's been marked down since 2013 when I got off as deputy. but I believe it expires this year.
Would you like me to ask him when I see him tomorrow?
I'm pretty sure that he'll re-up, but I need the form. He needs to sign, the board needs to sign as well. But if you see him and.
He may have gotten it in the mail and just put it with his.
It usually comes to the town, but that's fine. But it is something that it's
State-driven.
official, right? It's
Yeah.
an official state appointment that comes through the Department of Finance. But he's been very, very good, very conscientious.
All right,
Through the years.
so unless somebody has someone else to add, I would entertain a motion to appoint Sue LaCour to the Valley Cares Board.
So moved.
Sorry.
All those in favor of appointing Sue LaCour to the Valley Cares Board, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. We're not going to get very far, one person at a time.
If I might just remind, and I should talk to you off camera, but if you can think of anybody for visiting nurse or for senior solutions as well, in that area. Just so that we had a hard time last year finding, from here anyway, contacting anybody that might be.
We might also need to point out that when we do get to the beginning of probably the first of the year, we'll need to send out notifications to these people so that there's not confusion as there was last year as to who's on what committee,
Yeah.
just to keep things clear and smooth. Then budget status report, you all got a copy, it's the yellow
Yep.
piece of paper that shows where we are year to date on the general fund, the highway fund, and the equipment fund. The equipment fund is beyond confusing.
It's the last one in there,
Yeah.
last 3 pages.
The highway and the general funds are pretty close to being on task.
For 10 months into the year, you're not bad across the board. The equipment fund's gonna lose a little because you have 120 budgeted into that already for the new loader. And
Right.
those bids are out, you should be hearing back by the next.
Right, but that was added in
But
addition
no.
to.
Yep,
We budgeted 98,000 and we have spent 81.
right.
So even the equipment fund at this point in time is still, it's higher than, or it's over than the, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. It's earnings. Total revenues 98. We spent 81. Why is that 109? I can't be reading this right.
The total town equipment appropriation the budget was for 98,065.
Right.
The actual raise in taxes was gonna be 23 because we had an almost 70-something thousand dollars
Right.
surplus to apply. The loader appropriation is 120 on top of that. So on that revenue side, whatever you wanna call that, earnings equipment, the positive side of it, you wanted to spend 98, you actually brought in 143 technically. We still haven't spent 120 on the loader. The bottom line on page 43 is, as you say, 98 was the budget. So far, you've spent 90.
Yes.
You haven't bought the loader yet. So it's gonna go
How are we so far above on diesel?
above or below?
Above.
Almost 30, we're almost 30%
We're almost
over.
$10,000 over, we're
Yeah.
almost 50% over.
Which is a question I have, because the price of diesel fuel did not go up and the wages are still in line. It's not like we worked a lot extra this year, or a lot more overtime. I don't think this year was any worse than previous years. I don't know what to tell you. I just have to assume that the difference between 6 miles per gallon on a truck and 4 miles per
Yeah,
gallon
that's
on
the
a truck.
equivalent of like 3,500 gallons of fuel.
Oh, we've done really well with budgeting on fuel 18 months out, and I'm scared about next year.
Do we have to put
If this is a trunk,
Camera on that
30,000.
thing again?
Huh?
Do we have to put a camera on it again?
You'll find solid, you only get 2 to 3 miles a gallon.
Yeah, but we didn't just come up with the number out of nowhere, Joe. We got it off of last year's number.
Well, we've been pretty good year after year after year. You know, like I say, it's hard 18 months out, and if this was a really, really tough winter, you might expect some of that to go this way. 50 gallons of it is here in Town Hall. We borrowed from the Highway Department for the heat, but yeah, it's over by a lot. It's huge. That's the biggest. It's the biggest anomaly in there that hurts. in this kind of way, and I've been kind of questioning that, and my only thought is that if a truck is getting 5 or 6 miles to a gallon nominally, and it's out of tune, and so that it's now only getting 3 or 4 miles to a gallon, that's huge. That will eat you up right there. It's not like going from 25 down to 22. This is, you know,
Right,
might
you're
be literally
basically
cutting.
doubling consumption.
Right. A couple of gallons, when you're in single digit numbers anyway, a couple of gallons per mile makes a difference, so.
Well, but that also correlates to all the DEF fluid we've been buying as well. If they're actually putting that much diesel fluid.
150 gallons since December in DEF fluid, that's just a lot. And again, I don't know how much, I mean, the road grader may hold 30 of it if I had a shot, I don't know. But it seems to me that's,
I don't think the grader even takes it.
Yeah.
probably doesn't. But I'm just saying, 150 gallons, we just ordered another batch from
Do
Sunel's.
all the trucks take DEF fluid?
I don't even know what,
Big trucks do?
it's new in the last 4 or 5 years.
What does it do?
Makes it so it's
Keeps
quiet.
the pig farmers happy.
It what?
Makes it so it's quiet, it's DEF.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve,
Anyway.
what does it do?
It's a diesel
It
exhaust.
causes the exhaust to reburn
Oh, okay.
before the catalytic converter, so it comes out cleaner. It's an emissions add-on.
Alright.
All right. So is there any other questions or comments on the budget status report? So we're pretty well on track for the end of this year. Then, hearing nothing else, any other business? Then I would entertain a motion to go into executive session under 1 VSA 317 C4 to discuss correspondence with the municipality's attorney.
So moved.
Is there any discussion on it? All right, all those in favor of going into executive session to discuss attorney communications at, let's call it.
7:21.
Yeah, but let's call it, because we're gonna give time, let's call it 7:30. Signify by saying aye.
Alright.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. There should not be a resolution on this one.